Good morning. It is 2:45 a.m. I'm just getting ready to leave my house and go to the gym. I feel very good. The getting up, going to gym early in the morning, that thing is it's very simple for me. It's almost exciting. Um, it's very exciting feeling, which kind of leads me to believe you can do anything that you want to. If you can stick with it long enough, you can literally do anything that you want to. But what I'm going to talk to you about real quick is I remember now on 35th Avenue in Van Buren. Now, for some reason, me and my dad would cruise Van Buren a lot. I remember as a child, we would either live off Van Buren, we would cruise Van Buren. Some way, somehow, we had something to do with Van Buren. And I remember as a kid, we didn't have a car. For some reason or another, we would always find ourselves without a vehicle. And I remember one time in particular, and me and my dad, we got on the bus and we rode the bus to 35th Avenue and Van Buren. And we got off, and all I remember is going to the dealership. It wasn't a dealership, it was like one of them little buy here, pay here's. I never went to a dealership until I was a grown adult and I went and bought my own vehicle. We always bought at buy here, pay here's, or we had special arrangements with people. And I remember my dad asking me, like my opinion really mattered. I must have been about 5. Which car do you want? And I remember him asking me, do you like this car? I was like, yeah. As a kid, you like anything that ain't the bus. And I remember driving off the lot in the car and having the windows rolled down. And that overwhelming sense of gratitude. I don't even know why I don't even know why I'm feeling this way right now. And I remember I think what's coming to mind is the fact that as a kid, your needs are so very basic that you're really happy just with the simplest things. And then we turn into these like adults and everything gets out of whack. Everything's complicated and hard and you can't do it. You can't stay committed to it. It even felt like I don't know why, for some reason we never had the windows up. It felt like we was always driving with the windows down, and those cars were made out of all metal. So when you touched anything, and it had that fake leather, some of them had that fake leather seat, or it had the upholstery that had some type of fake leather on it, and it got real hot, and if you touched it, it'll burn you. And the windows would be rolled all the way down, and it seemed like Arizona was hotter then. But it didn't matter. And, you know, it was just me and him, you know, for the most part, it was me and him. And then, you know, he'd have girlfriends. And then my brother, you know, one of my brothers came along, and then, you know, he'd have another girlfriend, and blah, 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 blah. We did that and that. But, you know, our favorite food, we ate Sloppy Joes and, you know, Lay's barbecue chips and root beer and chili dogs, and I think that's all he knew how to make. Spaghetti. We call that poor people. When we doing bad, that's what we eat. We call that poor people food, because this was like $5 meals. You can feed everybody. You get you a little can of tomato or sauce and some ground beef or some turkey meat, and you're good to go. But now we can't even, you know, as adults, it's hard to even stay committed. It's hard to stay committed to, you know, things that you need, you know, you really need to do, you know, like your marriage. You can't stay committed to that, or stay committed to your weight loss, or building your business, or I'm gonna show up to work earlier, I'm gonna build a relationship with God, or I'm gonna go to church. And I think holding on to how simple things are allows me to stay more focused, more humbled in my commitment. And I think that's what makes getting up and going like this early in the morning, getting up and leaving. Like, dude, I get up every morning at 1:40. That's not embellished. That's not a joke. My alarm goes off at 1:40. Like, I'm snap up out the bed. I'm erect, standing upright. I'm not like, oh man, not again. Like, there's no part of me that says, man, I you know, geez. There's no part of me that's dreading the day. There's just no part of me that's dreading. Like, I've been through too much. Like life takes pretty big swings at me. It's hilarious because it cannot knock me out to save itself. But I stay committed to this. I love waking up in the morning. It's so quiet. There's nobody bothering me. I don't have to hear anybody making any request of me. The world is asleep. It's just me. It's just me. You know, if I had to tell somebody anything, I would say if there's something you really want, just stay committed to it. You know, even like in my business, in my real estate business, like, dude, I got so much hustle in me that in this business, not all the hustle that I have in me is right for this. One is because you're dealing with a totally different clientele. These people ain't crackheads buying crack rock, or people ain't buying a used car. These people are making purchases, and you got to play by a different set of rules. And you got to take some of that hustle that you used to use for bad and turn it into hustle for good. So I'm committed to like going to extra classes, taking education, and that's why getting my broker's license right now is very important. And you know, speaking with people like the commissioner and people who've developed the Arizona School of Real Estate, like Bill Gray, and having these people in my ear, and you know, reading the commissioner's rules, and studying Arizona law, and you know, reading the code of ethics, and living by the golden rule, and all these other different things, because I want to be the best that I can be at that. even if I'm not the best right now, even if I don't look the way I want to look right now, staying committed to the process of what it is that I want will get me closer to what I want than not doing anything. And I dread so much of stopping and having to restart back over that it's way easier once the train gets going to just keep it going, just keep shoveling coal into it, just keep going, versus stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting. Like, that's a lot of momentum being lost. You know, and all of it derives from the fact that I remember getting on that bus as a child with my dad and going to pick this car up on 35th. I think that place is still there, 35th Avenue in Van Buren. But then I also remember he couldn't afford to get it fixed, and getting on the same bus and seeing it sitting outside of Sun Devil Automotive on 43rd Avenue, or 43rd Avenue or 51st Avenue in Indian School for months. And I know the reason why we kept passing by it right there is because right up street was the Department of Economic Service. I remember going there all the time. We always had DES. Then you went to DES. I don't know what you do now, but we would go to DES. But it was things like that was an accumulation of building the type of person that I am now. Like I'm determined. I'm just determined. I'm just determined not to lose. I'm determined to win. I'm committed. I am the definition of committed. All in.